Ooh. It's like no. Hey YouTube. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Apologies if I'm speaking low. It's pretty late at night and I know it's gonna be too loud for real. I was gonna use this new microphone that I have, so I just might hook that up. Give me a minute. Okay, so hopefully y'all can hear me a little bit better now because it works, period. Again, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stick around. You know, my name is Des and I'll be doing stuff, so you may as well just like and subscribe because it's YouTube and why not? Always feel free to leave a comment about what you think I should do, what you think about this video, whatever, all that good stuff. As you can tell by the title below, these are going to be 20 things that I hate about being an artist. If you couldn't tell by the hat, yes, I am an artist. I'm a creative, or I guess the way my room is set up. So I just want to talk about my experience being an artist. These list of 20 things. And if you're an artist, let me know if you can create, if you can relate, if you're creative as well. And yeah, let's have a conversation. So to get right into it, the first one being the pressure to create on a consistent basis all the time. Like it feels like when you're following these big pages, they're posting like every 2-3 days, and you're like, how do you have time to do that without all the other responsibilities? So now I'm just like, do y'all just not have any other responsibilities? Like, or are you really dedicating time to like do this? Just that pressure of like doing stuff all the time like this is kind of crazy to me and low key unrealistic. But on social media, they'll literally shadow ban your stuff because you're not consistent enough, and it's stupid. Like, I have a life too. Number two, I'm gonna go with, you know how you're like working or whatever and you're drawing. So like, you know, sometimes your sleeve like touches the work, and since it gets on the paint or the medium, whatever gets on the sleeve, you move somewhere else and the paint or the medium gets in another spot, and you're like, see, I didn't say that. I didn't do that. That gets on my nerves because my sleeves be hanging like this. This little tickle be tickling the paint and it brings it somewhere else, and I'm so annoyed when I see it because I'm like, now not only do I have to fix this mistake, but I have to get this paint off my sleeve that's now gonna stain it. I hate that. I hate that. Number three, I'm gonna go with the lack of community that sometimes the art community can, like the art scene, what have you, can have, because there are some very talented people who don't know where to do, what to do, or where to go. Like, so it's kind of hard to know um where you can go and what you can do. Number four is probably one of the biggest things I hate about being an artist is when you have someone who's not an artist judging you for what you should and shouldn't do for being an artist. Like, a lot of people really think this is just coloring. And I remember seeing a meme like that, like you're going to college paying all this tuition just to color. Like, so first of all, you're minimizing the amount of work that artists do in everyday life. Like, this was made from artists, the phone artists, like your house architecture artists. Like, come on, like, you know, like a lot of people just be sleeping on painters and um what's the word, and like people who do other artworks, like, you know, sewing and stuff like that. Like, it's really slept on a lot, and I hate that because what qualifies you? You know, a lot of people have been doing this for like years on end but still don't really get the credit and the exposure that they deserve, because what the fuck, excuse my language, but like, you know, like she ain't seen this hat before. But anyway, don't my head though. She said. And so a lot of people also don't really see you being an artist as a real job, like, because it's not bringing in big money, or I guess enough money consistently enough. So it's kind of hard to be taken seriously in the beginning stages from people who don't really understand what the progress is like, and it's like kind of annoying. I hate that. Number five, I'm gonna go with the classic comment, like, I know y'all mean well. I know y'all mean well. But every time someone brings up they can either only draw stick figures or can't even draw stick figures, stop. Cut it out. Stop saying that. I don't know what to say to that. What am I supposed to say to that? Is that supposed to be funny that you can't draw? Like, because then if I laughed at it, knowing I know how to draw stick figures, or I guess very well, wouldn't that make me look like a booty hole? Like, what am I supposed to say and do to that? Just like, I know you mean well, but just stop doing that. I hate that. It's annoying at this point. I've been an artist for years, and that's all I hear. Like, just give me my tens and go ahead. So my little light died, but it's okay as long as y'all can still see me. But this brings me to number six of bringing back stick figures again. Like, y'all really need to let that go, because I genuinely just don't know what to say to that. I guess I'm supposed to just laugh like Kiki, but I'm tired of fake laughing at that because it's starting to get sad at this point. Like, it's giving, I wish I could draw, but I can't. LOL. Like, LOL. What do you mean, LOL? It sounds like you really wish you could draw. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Number seven is if you're an artist and people knew about it in school, child, being one of the few or only artists in the room was so irritating whenever a creative project popped up. Like, everybody and their mother was. Now I'm sitting in my seat like, people you didn't even talk to before, all of a sudden, hey, you want to be my partner? Because I know you'll get an A, because I know you're an artist and I know you're good at this. I'd be like, beat, like, you don't even talk to me. Like, stop it. You just want a good grade. You don't care about me. Like, stop it. I hate that. I hate that. Like, just don't do that. Don't do that. It'd be so awkward for me because I'd be like, you, like, people who, I don't want to say didn't act like I existed, but people I genuinely just, like, never spoke to before would come up to me and be like, hey girl, like, what's up? And I'd be like, no, I'm already working with someone. It's too late. Because then as soon as they work with you, then you're doing most of the work anyway. I hate group projects because I'm always the one who, like, naturally leads, because I'm like, okay, this is the game plan, this is what we gotta do. Maybe it's my Capricorn moon or whatever, but I always end up being the one either doing the most work or initiating shit or initiating things when it's a group project. Like, it's supposed to be a group effort, and I hate that. So, like, being the only artist, everybody and their mother just all of a sudden like, yo, don't look at me, don't look at me. I hate that. Don't look at me. Number eight, I'm gonna go with the black artist aesthetic. Like, I feel like some artists always have to have a certain look or aesthetic to them, which I personally don't think I fit into, which doesn't really encourage me to walk in certain spaces because some black artists are known for, the glasses, polka dot jacket or whatever, and like a random neon lipstick or pants. And it's like this whole, I don't want to poop on the African diasporic aesthetic either, but it's like a hint of that too, and like sage and crystals and all this other stuff. And it's like, everybody don't really fit in that category. So sometimes I feel like I'm out of place because I don't associate with those certain types of looks. This whole aesthetic, I don't really appreciate because sometimes it feels like it gives clicky. And I think there's this clicky atmosphere to the artist community as well because it's like you'll know somebody, but they ain't gonna put you on. And it's like, that's crazy. Number nine, I'm gonna say, when you're like starting a new piece and a new artwork and it goes through that whole ugly phase of like, what is this? This is not what I signed up for. Before it gets better and you start like piling on, then you can add details and highlights and all that stuff. That ugly phase eats me up every time because I'm just like, do I even know what I'm doing? Like, what is this? And then I keep going and I'm like, oh, I'm actually eating this up. Let me like not beat myself up for the beginning stages of anything because the beginning stages of anything is going to be ugly. Like, even right now, my page ain't really doing, the biggest numbers, but I gotta keep going, right? Like, how do you expect to reach the finish line if you don't keep going? So, the ugly phase, I don't really like it. It's necessary, but I don't really like it. Which brings me to number 10. When you're working on that artwork and then you're like almost done, all of a sudden you get this random wave of fatigue and you just want to stop. And so that leaves us with having a lot of projects that's unfinished because as soon as we almost done, we just stop. Why do we do that? I hate that we do that. Like, I have some projects that I really need to finish, and thank God that the people that I've been working with have been patient with me, but it's like at this point, have I given up? Like I need to go back and finish what I started. Like if you're an artist that does that, you need to go back and finish what you started. It's 2024. We can't keep doing this. We got to do better. You can do it. Number 11, I'm pretty sure every creative can relate to this, but the cost of art supplies is insane. The good ones are insane. Like you'll buy a marker for $30 and that's one marker, or a pack of 5 for 40. And it's like, damn, that's why we're charging so much. We're trying to get our money back, our time back, our supplies back, all of that. Because like, no, it's crazy to pay that much for our supplies. Granted, you can go somewhere else, like to get it for cheaper or whatever. But it's like for the most part, even still, you racking up something. I remember buying a freaking frame and they lied, said it was on sale, but then when I rung it up, they was like, "Oh, this is $80." I'm like, "What the for a frame? A frame is $80. I'm about to make it myself." And that's why you save money by making your own canvases and frames and stuff. But like, $80 for a frame is crazy. You can't tell me nothing. You cannot convince me otherwise. Number 12, I'm gonna say the lack of confidence, motivation from like about your own work when you don't really receive the type of attention that you were expecting or wanted for your work. I've been seeing a lot of artists who make great stuff or like really cool stuff and they're just like, oh, like I'm just not gonna post. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like how is anybody gonna see it if you don't post anything? Like, we can't be worried about how many likes we get. We have to worry about who likes it. Amen. It doesn't matter how many people see it, it matters who sees it. Because you only need to know, and I love this, it helps me stay encouraged. You only need to know one millionaire who will see your work. Like, I'm gonna give you $1 million for that. You only need to know one. The lack of confidence and motivation, baby, we gotta fix that. Whether you like your work or not, post it anyway. Now, you don't always gotta like turn every hobby and change every hobby to have a monetary value. But I think that if you enjoy what you do, why not post it? It's not like you're doing it for the gram, right? Then post it. Let the world see it. It don't matter how many likes you get. Like how you think I got to where I got, because I kept going. You gotta keep going. And this one content creator on TikTok, I forgot his name. I could put it somewhere in a text, but he showed how he posted the same video on different platforms, but they did different numbers on each one. He said it may flop on one app, but it may not on the other. So just post it anyway and keep going. Don't give up. And I was like that, and I did that, and it's working. It's helping. Like it may not do good someplace, but it may do good somewhere else. But at the end of the day, you should be posting it because you enjoy what you do and you love it anyway. Like the rest of it will follow regardless. 13, I really don't like pricing my work. This is probably yeah, this is 13. I really don't like pricing my work. It feels very ingenuine. It doesn't feel really sincere to put a number on something that I'm only gonna make once. Cause for real, everything will cost $1 million if I could do that. Like, but art also needs to be accessible, which is why I have prints. It's just when you think of it as an hourly rate, that's cool for real. But then when I look at the number, I'm like, that's not enough. I don't like that. Like, even if I had charged like $40 an hour and calculated how long it took me to make it, sometimes when I rack up the number, I still don't like it because when I look at the piece, I'm like, it should be more than that though. So I really don't like pricing it. Also, because a lot of people feel like your work should be cheaper than what it is. There's gonna be a lot of people that downplay the cost of your work as if you're gonna be able to make the same thing again, and it's kind of annoying. Like I'm gonna put that as like a sub 13. Like I hate that trying to tell me to lower my price. Like for who? For what? You can get a print. That's lower. You can get that, but original, like no, I'm not gonna. Like I didn't BS when I made it, so why would I BS when I priced it? But I still hate that process because I never feel like the number is right. Knowing that someone that I know may be selling their painting for $19,000 and getting $19,000 for their painting makes me feel like I need to be charging my for $19,000. Like that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Pricing my work is really complicated when your name isn't big like that. But I remember seeing the Basquiat film where he went to I think his name's Andy Warhol. His name should not be slipping me, but I remember in the film he saw him in a restaurant and had a little sketch, and he was like $5. I was like $5. What? But when he met up with a manager to help him sell his work, he sold the first one for like 2,000, and I was like, he went from 5 to 2,000 just like that, just because he knew people who had money, and that's what I'm saying. So I hate praising my work. I feel like whatever I say what I say. Whatever I say, just go with that, okay? But you never sit there and look at Mona Lisa and be like, oh, that should be $500. Like, no, nobody's gonna do that. They're gonna look at you like you crazy. So according to me, all of my pieces are Mona Lisas. That Desiree Thaniels, okay, period. 14, like the audacity that some of these galleries and organizations have when they partner with you to expose your work is when they take a certain number profit. Like I remember seeing an application to have my work sold, possibly, mind you, possibly sold in New York, and they were asking for a 50% commission. 50%? What did you do? I made the whole thing. Why do you need 50%? Not to mention they capped the work for being priced at $5,000. Like you can't sell it for more than 5,000, but whatever you sell it as, we want 50% of that. No, no, 50% is insane. I don't like that. Don't do that. Like number 15, this is kind of why I don't really like doing commissions in the first place. But people will ask you, can you draw or do a thing without really looking at the type of work that you make, and they think that just because you're an artist, you can do it, and it's like yeah, personally, I do feel like I can do anything I put my mind to, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna do everything. Like if I make a certain type of work or have a specific style, like don't ask me to do something outside of that. Unless what you're asking me can be done creatively, like in my own way type. Like usually when someone asks me for a commission, it's like in this very classical professional type painting or drawing or whatever. And it's like I don't even draw or paint like that. So then when my style starts bleeding through into the commission, they're like, "Oh, I don't want it to look like that. It's in the third." And it's like I don't even paint like this in the first. Like first of all, I don't even paint or draw like this. This is what you want. Like this is solely for you. Like give me a break. Like look like if you're a person who likes to collect art or ask people for commissions, like you need to look at the type of work that the artist makes and ask yourself, do they make what I want them to make? Be mindful of the type of work that the artist makes and ask them to do that, because that's what they do. So number 16 is probably one of my biggest pet peeves into why I be glad that I'm able to experiment with other mediums, and that's cleaning brushes. Cleaning brushes is probably one of the most annoying things ever because especially when you're using a lot of brushes all at once and then you get lazy and they pile up in the cup of water or a Gamsol or whatever, and you have to like clean them all off individually. Like I can't just hold them and go like that and be like clean. Like I have to like literally clean each one, dry it off, put it away. Like it's annoying, and I'm glad that I'm able to like branch out to pastels and stuff like that. So all I gotta do is wash my hands, call it a day. Like cleaning brushes is so annoying. I hate doing it. But clean your brushes. It's very important to take care of the brushes because they take care of you. Period. And number 17, don't shoot. But I don't like vending. I don't like doing events like that. Like for people who be sending me opportunities like that, I appreciate you so much. I'm not ready. I'm not gonna run to the application to vend because it feels kind of weird to sit at a table, have prints and products out, and like basically try to convince every person that walks past your table to like buy your stuff. Like I'm not a salesperson. I'm an artist, and I don't like trying to convince people to buy my stuff. Or that awkward moment where someone is walking past your table, you make eye contact, so you kind of expect them to come to your table, but they're not, and then you kind of feel bummed because you're like, damn, what if my work ain't good enough to like be purchased from that person? And then you start to like kind of beat yourself up a little bit if you don't sell as much person as the person next to you, whatever. And it's just like it feels like a lot of pressure because everybody don't come with too much money for real. So it's like I'd rather just go to events like Art Basel and stuff like that, where it's like on a wall and you don't really like have to feel pressure to sit at a table for 3+ hours hoping somebody will buy your stuff. Like I hate that. I don't like that atmosphere. It's a type of competitive nature that's too much for me. Like, it's very, very much, it's literally comparing yourself next to somebody. And I don't like that, because at a gallery or an exhibition, you don't really know that much because nobody's like the artist themselves or the person that's subbing for them isn't just like sitting at the table. Like, it's a great way to sell prints if you like don't have a website or whatever. But I personally, I just don't like that atmosphere. Shout out to all the vendors who are putting their that work out there and sitting for the hours and making that money, like, go ahead, do your thing, okay? Do your thing, child. 18 is really specific, but I don't like being forced to work from left to right to avoid smudging because sometimes I want to work here, 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 but I can't do that because I have to be extra careful about putting my hand on the paper, or I guess I need to get one of them sticks to raise my arm up, but it just seems inconvenient. Either way, it just seems inconvenient, but I guess it helps like train myself to like do it in a right order, do it in order. But it's kind of cringy to like be forced to do it left to right when something else is calling me, but I can't get there yet. So now I gotta like force myself to do this before I can get there. All right, so the sound cut off on the last 2 points I was trying to make, so we're gonna do it again. 19, you have to have paint clothes. Like it doesn't matter what you wear, you're gonna get paint on it. So you gotta have like this uniform basically when you create work, which is kind of like irky to me because sometimes I be wanting to look cute and I can't because I'm gonna get paint on my clothes. Like there's too many pairs of jeans that have paint splatters on it. And at first, it was cute, like, oh, team artist, like, but after a while the paint just don't go with the fit, like, and it's very distracting for me. So I hate that I have to have a uniform because the paint mats that I have now, I don't know where they are, so I gotta find like another pair to substitute them in the meantime. But yeah, this uniform, I don't like it. And then last but not least, 20 is the phase of like not knowing your style or your niche yet when it comes to your artwork, because for me personally, I feel like I've been doing a lot of different things and it looks like I don't know like where I'm trying to go with it. The more work that I make, I'm starting to notice a certain pattern in some of my work. So the whole point is to just keep going. If you don't think you know what your style is yet, that's okay. Just keep making the work that you like to make, that you want to make, because as long as it has purpose and meaning, then like that's okay. That's good. So I'm just gonna keep making work, and the patterns that I'm noticing, I'm just gonna keep it up, and that's gonna be my style. It is what it is. I don't know what else to tell you. And so that's going to be the end of this video. I want to thank y'all so much for making it this far if you watched the whole thing. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment, especially if you're an artist or creative. Let me know if you relate to any of these, or if some of them you disagree with, maybe. Or even if I didn't, or even some things that you hate being an artist, or even things that you love about being an artist. I might do that after this. But I love being an artist. I love being creative. I can't imagine myself doing anything else. I love it here, and we're just gonna keep it up. So, once again, thank you so much, and stay awesome.